Good afternoon, members. We have already reached the scheduled time to start the meeting of the House Committee. There's also a quorum. I call the meeting to order. Item 1, confirmation of minutes of meeting. Minutes of the 16th meeting held on the 15th of March 2019. The minutes have already been sent out to members prior to the meeting. So far, we haven't received any comments from members. I will invite members to confirm the minutes. Confirmed. Thank you. Item 2, matters arising. Report by the Chairman on her meeting with the Chief Secretary for Administration in relation to the government's proposal to amend Cap 503 Fugitive Offenders Ordinance and Cap 525 Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Ordinance. I've already related to the CS4A Mr. James To's concern raised at the last House Committee meeting in relation to that matter. In his reply, the CS4A told us that the Secretary for Security has been actively explaining the proposals in great details to the stakeholders, including the Chambers of Commerce. The CS hoped that the society would be pragmatic and would consider the overall interests of Hong Kong and support the attempt to plug the loophole. Item 3, Mr. James To. Perhaps the CS didn't understand the main point. Well, on the 4th of March, the consultation exercise came to an end. But in fact, he's still meeting with the Chambers of Commerce. As to the reply that you have referred to us, it is said that he would continue to meet with the Chambers of Commerce to explain the government's policy. Now, the consultation exercise has ended, so will the discourse be counted as part of the consultation exercise? So is there a cut-off point as of the 4th of March, so can he clarify further? That is, what about the submissions from Chambers of Commerce from the society at large? Will such opinions be considered as well? Well, your views have been clearly referred to the CS4A when I last met him. Well, all in all, I think the S4S is continuing to talk to political parties and Chambers of Commerce and other stakeholders. He will continue to consider views. Don't answer the question on his behalf. Maybe in future you will be the CE. Well, you have to reflect my views faithfully. Yes, I'll continue. You said that he would be explaining the matter to the Chambers of Commerce instead of collecting the views or considering the views. So will views expressed after the 4th of March be considered? Because the consultation has ended and he talked about supporting his proposals. If the 4th of March is a cut-off date, I don't mind. But just tell me. Third item, business arising from previous council meetings. A, Legal Service Division reports on bills referred to the House Committee in accordance with Rule 54(4). First, Judicial Officers Extension of Retirement Age Amendment Bill 2019. I would like to give the floor to the legal advisor. Please give us a brief introduction. Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, the bill seeks to provide for the extension of retirement age and extension of terms of office. 4 pieces of legislation are involved in relation to the judges of the High Court as well as the Court of Final Appeal. They also introduce a discretionary early retirement arrangement so that judges may retire early at the age of 60. On the 18th of July 2018, the panel on administration of justice and legal services was briefed. Panel members generally supported the proposals. The division is scrutinizing the legal and drafting aspects of the bill. If need be, we will give you a further report. You may consider forming a bills committee to study the bill in detail. Any member wishing to form a subcommittee? Dr. Priscilla Leung. Does any member wish to join? I will ask the clerk to circulate paper. Second, Inland Revenue Amendment Tax Concessions Bill 2019. Again, legal advisor, please give us a brief introduction. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. The object of the bill is to give effect to a proposal concerning tax concessions in the budget introduced by government for the 2019-2020 financial year, namely reducing the sales tax, profits tax, and tax under personal assessment payable for the year of assessment 2018-19 by 75%, subject to a ceiling of $20,000 in each case. Two other technical amendments are proposed so as to give clarification. If passed, it would come into operation on the day on which it is published in the Gazette as an ordinance. We do not find any legal or drafting difficulties. Any member wishing to set up a Bills Committee to study the matter? Mr. Kenneth Leung. Anybody joining? Mr. Wu Chi-wai. I'll ask the clerk to circulate a paper. Third, Electoral Legislation, Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2019. Legal advisor, again, please give us a brief introduction. Yes, Madam Chair, LS 57/18-19. The bill seeks to amend various items of electoral legislation, including the legislative council election as well as the Elections Corrupt and Illegal Conduct Ordinance. It concerns the list of persons comprising the functional constituencies as well as the EC subsector. It amends the deadline for lodging election returns by candidates and the limits prescribed for relief of minor errors or omissions in election returns, the way nomination forms are to be submitted by candidates, and the requirement for letters that may be sent free of postage by candidates. The panel on Constitutional Affairs was consulted on the 21st of January 2019. Concerns were expressed by members. We are still scrutinizing the legal and drafting aspects of the bill. In view of the concerns of the panel, please consider setting up a Bills Committee. All right, thank you. Anyone wishing to form a Bills Committee? Mr. Shu Ka-fai, Helena Wong will join. I'll ask the clerk to circulate paper. Horace Cheung would also like to join the Bills Committee. B. Legal Service Division report on subsidiary legislation gazetted on the 15th of March 2019 and tabled in Council on March 20th, 2019. I would like to invite the legal advisor to give us a brief introduction. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Paper LS 59/18-19, covering 6 items of subsidiarization. The first one is LN 30, amending the Pharmacy and Poisons Ordinance, so that in relation to Schedule 1, Schedule 3, and Schedule 10, 2 items of substances will be added so that they will be subject to restrictions with respect to their sale and supply, and they can only be made available at registered premises of an authorized seller by registered pharmacists. They are for the purpose of treating schizophrenia as well as diabetes too. On the day of Gazzetto, it has come into effect. That is the 15th of March 2019. So regarding the first legal notice, any member wishing to set up a subcommittee to follow it up? No. All right, thank you. Please continue. Well, LM 31, LM 32, and LM 33, they are related to non-Hong Kong companies. For LM 31 and LM 33, that's in relation to non-Hong Kong companies. They have to meet certain disclosure requirements, and there are also consequential amendments so as to replace existing provisions. Please look at LN 31 in relation to the details concerning the disclosure. For LN 32, there's about the disclosure arrangements currently in place regarding non-Hong Kong companies. When LM 31 and LM 33 come into effect, it will be repealed. We are still considering the legal notices. If need be, we'll provide a further report to you. All right, thank you. Regarding the second to the fourth items, any member wishing to set up a subcommittee to follow up? Mr. Kwok would like to set up a subcommittee. Anybody wishing to join? I'll ask the clerk to circulate a paper. Item 5, LN 34, Madam Chair. This is to amend the Hong Kong Science and Technology Parks Corporation Ordinance so that Tai Po Town Lot number 245, Park Shek Kok, New Territories, Hong Kong, Inno Cell will be added to Schedule 1 as the prescribed or specified premises so that the Hong Kong Science and Technology Parks will have control and management of the specified premises. It will come into operation on the 19th of April. The panel has been consulted and panel members are in support. Any wish to set up a subcommittee to follow this up? No? Then please continue. The 6th item. Yes, the final item. LN 35. This is in relation to the Patents Amendment Ordinance 2016, which amends the ordinance to provide for a new system for the original grant of standard patents. This involved the application procedures, the provisions concerning substantive examination, as well as the fees involved. In June 2018, the panel on Commerce and Industry was briefed on the proposed amendments. In principle, the panel supported the proposals, but some members did raise concerns concerning things like the fee levels. Well, regarding this legal notice, it is quite lengthy. We are still studying the matter. If need be, we'll provide further report. All right, concerning the 6th item, does any member wish to set up a subcommittee? Mr. Shiu. Well, on behalf of Mr. Felix Chung, I would like to set up a subcommittee. Yes, Mr. Felix Chung asked for a subcommittee to be set up. Any member wishing to join? I'll ask the clerk to circulate paper. I just want to remind members that for the deadline to propose amendments to the subsidiary legislation, it will be the LegCo meeting on the 17th of April or the 8th of May if extended by resolution. Item 4. Further business for the Council meeting of the 27th of March 2019. A. Tabling of papers. Report number 14/1819 of the House Committee on Consideration of Subsidiary Legislation and Other Instruments. This report covers 9 items of subsidiary legislation, the period for amendment of which will expire at the Council meeting of the 27th of March 2019. No members have indicated their wish to speak. B. Questions. Dr. Priscilla Leung and Mr. Paul Che have respectively replaced their oral questions. Item 5. The Chief Executive's question time on the 3rd of April 2019. The C's question time on the 3rd of April 2019 will take place from 11 to 11:30 a.m. The regular Council meeting on the 3rd of April will be held immediately after the CE's question time. Item 6, business for the Council meeting of the 3rd of April 2019. A. Questions. We have already made arrangements for 22 questions, 6 oral questions and 16 written questions. B. Bill, first reading and moving of second reading. So far, no notice has been received. C. Government motions. 3 proposed resolutions will be moved by the Secretary for Labour and Welfare under the following ordinances, respectively. First, Employees' Compensation Ordinance, Cap 2H2. Second, Pneumoconiosis and Mesothelioma Compensation Ordinance, Cap 360. And third, Occupational Deafness Compensation Ordinance, Cap 469. B. Members' motions. Motion on not forgetting the June 4th incident to be moved by Honourable Wu Ji-wai. Second, the motion to be moved by Honourable Alice Mack in relation to her request to ask the government to overcome the 3 big mountains. If members would like to give notice to move amendments, the deadline will be Wednesday, 27th of March. Item 7, reports of bills committees and subcommittees. Report of the Bills Committee on Professional Accountants Amendment Bill 2018. I would like to invite Mr. Ronick Chen to speak on behalf of the Chair of the Bills Committee. Mr. Chen. Thank you, Madam Chair. The Professional Accountants Amendment Bill 2018 is a bill introduced by Honourable Mr. Kenneth Leung to amend the Professional Accountants Ordinance to tighten up restrictions on the use of misleading descriptions by individuals, firms, and companies that are not certified public accountants or practice units registered under the PAO, and to increase the level of fines. Altogether, 4 meetings were held by the BC and has received representations from deputations. The Bills Committee deliberated on the impact of the restrictions on accounting related service providers not registered under the ordinance, the necessity of restricting the use of some descriptions like professional accounting or 專業會計, how to judge whether the user intends to mislead by using the restricted descriptions, and the case of qualified accountants from other jurisdictions in carrying out business in Hong Kong. And if they would like to use the descriptions to be restricted, Mr. Kenneth Leung will propose an amendment to the effect that the proposed increase in the level of fine would be restricted to those offences which are related to the use of misleading descriptions. He will also propose a technical amendment to the long title as well as an amendment to add a provision specifying the commencement date of the bill. The Bills Committee raises no objection to his amendments and will not propose any amendments to the bill. Mr. James Toh has indicated that he will consider proposing amendments to delete the description professional accounting and 專業會計, which under the proposal are to be restricted. The Bills Committee has no objection to the resumption of the second reading debate on the bill at the Council meeting of the 3rd of April 2019. The deliberation of Bills Committee has been laid out in the report for members to note. Thank you. If you would like to move any amendments, the deadline to do so is Monday, the 25th of March. Item 8, reports of Bills Committees and Subcommittees. As of Thursday, the 21st of March, we have 9 Bills Committees in action, 6 subcommittees under the House Committee, and 7 subcommittees under panels to study policies. And on the waiting list, we have got 5 such subcommittees studying policies.
Number 9. Proposal of the panel of the Constitutional Affairs to nominate a member to attend the Westminster Workshop on Gender Sensitivity Scrutiny organized by the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, UK. I invite the Chair of the Constitutional Affairs panel to speak. The Constitutional Affairs panel agreed to accept the invitation of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, UK to nominate a member to attend the Westminster Workshop on Gender Sensitivity to be held in London on 2018, 17th of 19th of June at London. The panel has opened the invitation to all members. And before the conclusion of the sign deadline, Dr. Helena Wong have indicated interest. I sought the House Committee approval to attend the above workshop and the funding of which to be charged to Dr. Wong's overseas duty visit account. This ends my report. Any comments on this report? So should approve Dr. Helena Wong to attend the workshop with her funding to be credited to her overseas duty visit account. Number 10, and AOB, there's no any other business. Nothing under AOB. What's your question, Dr. Chang? I'll just take a bit of your time. I would like the House Committee to take note of one matter, but it has to do with the complaint office. And the last Wednesday and Thursday, and our members had visited 9 public rental housing estate shopping center for a visit, and one of the landlords have issued a complaint to Legislative Council to Regina Young, Eunice Young, Wen Siu Kin, Ao Lok Hin, and myself, in claiming us that in our visit we have been trespassing on private premises. And on the complaint letter, we have consulted the Public Complaints Office, and I know that we have seek an understanding from our Legal Service Division. I just wanted the House Committee to take note of this. The secretary handling the case will contact the relevant members and make a reply. There's nothing under AOB. End of the meeting.